What's up guys, this is Vincener and today we'll talk about EV training. In this video, I'll do my best to explain it to you in the most understandable way, so at the end of the video, you'll have a great understanding of how it really works. In that way, you should be able to use strong and competitive Pokemons both in online battles and Terra raids. Please tune in until at the end of the video because there are important notes you should know, especially if you are new to this. So without further ado, let's get into it. So let's talk about EV first. EV stands for effort value. Effort value are points that you get from beating or capturing Pokemons that you encounter in the wild. Generally, every single Pokemon has it. Each of them has different effort value points for each of the 6 stats that our Pokemons have. For example, a Paldean Wooper can give you 1 HP EV point every time you beat or capture it. And these are the other examples. Shinx or Yungoos will give you 1 attack EV point, Taruntula or Scatterbug will give you 1 defense EV point, Psyduck will give you 1 special attack EV point, Spoink will give you 1 special defense EV point, and Rookidee or Fletching will give you 1 speed EV point. Now the next thing you need to know is that for us to be able to increase the desired stats that we want for our Pokemon, we have to beat at least 4. For example, if I want to increase the special attack stat of my Spatra by 1, I need to beat at least 4 Psyducks. That is the rule. Now the next question is there a limit to this? Yes, there is. Each Pokemon can only have a maximum of 510 EVs. However, you can only put 252 EVs per each stat. With that being said, if you're going to put all 252 EVs in one stat, for example, in Special Attack, the maximum amount of additional stat points that your Pokemon can obtain by EV training is 63. So that is already a great difference if you're going to compare a regular not EV trained Pokemon versus an EV trained one. Currently, what majority of the players do to prepare their Pokemons for Terra raids and online battles is that they max 2 specific stats. If you're going to max 2 specific stats, that's a total of 504 EVs. So there's still a 6 remainder. With that 6 remainder, you'll probably think that there is a wasted 2 EVs since we can only accumulate 4 EVs for every 1 additional stat point. I tried to search about these 2 wasted EVs over the internet and I haven't seen an explanation. I guess that's just how they made it. So it really depends on you guys how you will distribute the EVs on each stat. To give you an idea why, most of the time, players maximize a specific stat because the Pokemon that they are EV training has a stat that has a very high limit. One good example is Goldengo. You can maximize his special attack up to 401. That is crazy. That's why he's always recommended for Terra raids. Now that I have discussed all the important numbers, you should realize that you'll have to battle a lot of times to maximize the stats. Let's say I want to maximize Espatra's special attack and HP. If I'm going to that route, I should realize that I need to beat Psyduck and a Paldean Wooper 252 times each, and I still have 6 EVs left. I guess I'll just put that in the attack stat. All in all, it's gonna be 510 EVs. 510 times that I will also have to beat Pokemons. That is tedious and it's crazy to imagine. But there are 2 solutions for this to cut down the process. Let's talk about the first one. The first and the most practical way is by making your Pokemon hold a power item. These are the power items. A Pokemon that holds a power item will have an additional 8 EV points aside from the 1 point you'll get every time you beat a Pokemon. So that is a total of 9 EV points for every single Pokemon you beat. So let's divide the 252 max EVs per stat by 9. That will be 28. So instead of beating a Pokemon 252 times, you just have to beat it 28 times for you to reach the maximum EVs it can obtain per stat. In my case, I need to maximize both the special attack and HP of Espatra. So 28 times 2 equals 56. That means I'll have to battle 56 times. Technically 57 times since I still have the remainder 6 EVs. Once you start doing this, don't worry too much. This will only take you around 10 to 12 minutes. Not that really long. I'll tell you how later. By the way, for you to be able to get these power items, you just need to go to every Delibird present store. The one I recommend is in Mesagoza, since it's very easy to fly to. Now that you know what to do and how to start the EV training, let me give you pro tips. Since you're going to battle at least 28 to 57 times, you might as well make the most out of it. I recommend that you also maximize the Pokemon you'll have to train. So instead of training just one Pokemon in your party, it is highly recommended to train all 6 Pokemons all at the same time. In my case, these are the Pokemons I chose. I made sure that all of them are designed to be a special attacker. So all 6 needs EVs for special attack. The next pro tip I will give you to make the process even faster is to make sure that your lead Pokemon doesn't have any abilities like Intimidate, Drizzle, Sandstream, and etc. Abilities that are activated right away upon entering the battle. These abilities consume a lot of time before you can even attack the Pokemon. Also, aside from that, make sure that your Pokemon has a simple quick move that doesn't have long animations, like Headbutt, Slam, Double Kick, and many more. Basically, check all 6 of the Pokemons you're going to EV train and see who fits to these requirements. The last tip I will give you to even make the process even faster is by making sandwiches to getting counter powers. This will make the Pokemons you're battling spawn crazy fast, so in that way, you no longer need to look around to beat a Pokemon. You will just continuously knock out Pokemon one after another. Anyway, to make it easy for you guys, I have created a chart of the specific sandwiches you should make for each Pokemon. I guess you can go ahead and screenshot it. So that is the first method, guys. Now if you don't prefer this type of grind and you just want it done right away, the second method are the vitamins. You can pick up these vitamins all throughout the game or by buying them in the Chansey supply stores. These stores can be found in cities or towns. The easiest one to get to is in Mesagoza. Now each of these vitamins will give you 10 EVs. One vitamin equals 10 EVs. Each vitamin will also cost 10,000 Pokédollars. So if I use this type of method for my Spatra, which I'm going to maximize the special attack and HP and just add the remaining 6 EVs to the attack stat, I'll need to buy 26 HP ups, 26 calciums, and 1 protein. The total will cost me 530,000 Pokédollars. So that is the total amount you're going to need if you want to maximize the 510 EV points of one Pokemon through vitamins. By the way, if you come short with your money, you can always use your LP as an alternative. Now I know that this is quite a lot, so if you're unable to buy all the 53 vitamins, there is also an alternative for it. These are the feathers. Each of these feathers will give you 1 EV point for a specified stat. So they are not really that much, to be honest, but they are useful if you come up short with a few vitamins. Anyway, there are 3 ways to get these. First, from the Terra Raid rewards. Second, in Porta Miranda Central. Sometimes it's offered on bids. You can get a large number of it. And the third and main way of getting it is by going to Caseroya Lake. You'll be able to get these by picking up glittering items on the ground and on the water. Now before I start in the last topic, I just want to remind you important things before you start EV training. These are critical, especially for those who are new to this. So let's dive in. First is make sure that the Pokemons you will EV train are either freshly caught or Pokemons that you just bred, the ones that just hatch. These are Pokemons that have never battled or have been included to it. This is important because the Pokemons that you have used from the very beginning of the game have already battled with different Pokemons. That means their EV spreads are messed up. If you test to EV train them, it will no longer work. One thing I almost forgot to mention is that for you to confirm if you have maxed out a stat, all you need to do is go to your Pokemon's moves in the stats section and click on the L button in your Switch. If the specific stat you are EV training is already sparkling, that means you have already maxed it. Back to the important things. Now for those who are wondering what is the best level to start EV training, the answer is any level. In fact, you can EV train at level 1. Just make sure that the Pokemon meets the requirements that I just mentioned, freshly caught and never battled. I also want to remind you that you will not get EV points from auto battling. And lastly, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet did not include Pokeros in this game. Now let's discuss the final one, how to reset or reduce EV points from your Pokemon. This is the solution for those who still wants to EV train their beloved in-game Pokemons, you know, like your starter and the ones you use in the story of the game. So there is still a way. What we need to do is just acquire specific berries. These berries that I'm talking about are the following. Each of these berries will reduce the Pokemon's EVs by 10 in the specified stat, and it also makes it more friendly. By the way, I will also already show the following locations where you can find them. You'll be able to acquire them by picking up from the glittering items like the feathers. By the way, I also have other Pokemon Scarlet and Violet tutorials in my playlist. Check that out, they will help you a lot. So that's it guys, I hope this video has helped you a lot. If you liked the video, please hit like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell for more awesome videos like this. Vincener here, see you next time. Take care.